Alright, so first off, I'd like to give our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashami Hawashai, Bahashimaka Kodash. To our honors to the elders, teachers, bishops, of Great Millstone, from Ella Apostle Tahar and down. Shalom to you, brothers out there pushing this word in sincerity, in all honesty, and to you, sisters that believe. I just wanted, was just here sitting and it came to me that I think I'll do this video on, or should I say, an exhortation video, right? These things happening around us, day by day, where prophecy is concerned, and we speak it in most of our videos that times are gonna get worse and things are gonna get out of control. But at the same time we have to remain in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai at all times, right? Not giving ourselves any leeway, to stray and find ourselves as the idlers, on the streets doing all kind of madness. Right? We gotta be mindful. We gotta be mindful of things taking place, around us, the situations that we find ourselves in, the crowds that we find ourselves in, things that we find ourselves doing and so forth. We got to be careful, because as we can see, the days are getting, eviler and eviler as time go on. Right, this is Ephesians 5 verse 15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. We are living in evil days. It's just that, some people don't expose to certain things. Like you have for example on the web, you have certain content, that show gruesome things. People getting hit down by cars or getting run over, getting shot or stabbed or whatnot, on CCTV cameras. I personally am always amazed, at these things, because I'm always saying, I always say, what are the odds that these incidents or events are caught on camera? Why? So that the world can see it, right? And fear the Most High. Because in time past, you would hear that things happen, but you wouldn't have any recollection of it, or you have any video evidence or footage. But nowadays, this smallest things that happen, there is video evidence. There is video evidence of it. It's crazy. Hey, it's wild out here. These sometimes you watch some videos and you're like, wow, that's a horrible way to go. Like I was watching this one video, this lady, man rather, this man rather, he got sucked up in a machine that seemed like a spooling machine for wires or something, and just spool him onto it. But you just got to show fear the Lord. Fear the Lord, and you got to be mindful. Right? Scripture says, redeem the times, because the days are evil. So you got to be circumspect. You got to watch your surroundings. Pay attention to what's going on and what you're doing. Right? Try to stay in the spirit of the Lord. Every situation that come up, always look at it, from a spiritual point of view. Like, why is the Lord doing this? Why is this happening? Because everything that happens, there's nothing that happens that's random. Right? Everything that happens is of the Lord. There's no random act. And you best believe that. Let me just get Romans. Alright, it says Romans 13, verse 11. It says, and knowing the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is your salvation nearer than you believe. Yeah, the salvation is close, but that time of Jacob's trouble is closer. because these things have to happen, before the Lord come and deliver us, right? These things have happened. All hell has to break out, on this earth, right? And I know that sometimes you might just live in your life day to day, complete your daily task and whatnot, and you find that you might forget. You might forget that you not necessarily forget, but you might just get caught up then, rather, in your day-to-day activities, and for a second there you're not thinking about things spiritually, right? And that's when that spiritual demon, Satan, come on, and just tug you a little bit and let you stray. So you gotta be careful, right? And brother, I'm sure brothers can relate to what I'm saying, because you might in a conversation with your woman, then she said some things or whatever, trying to start some argument, and you find yourself reacting to what she's saying, and then you're like, hey, what am I doing? This this is what the precept said, and you pull yourself back, when you pull yourself back and say, hey, no, this is wrong, this is not how a man of the Lord supposed to react, or you might out in the street and somebody say something like, in Jamaica we say, throwing wood, but they're trying to antagonize you then, right? Are trying to prick at you, saying things to hurt your feelings, right? You find yourself might want to respond and say, hey, whatever, but then you catch yourself and say, no, that's not how I'm supposed to react as a man of the Lord, right? You just say, in Proverbs, it said, better is he, just paraphrasing here, better is he said, better is a man that control the spirit than a mighty that take it a city. Something to that effect. But that's basically what he's saying. It's better to be able to control the spirit than to take a city. Just paraphrasing, but that is the mindset that we gotta be. We got to remain in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, because that is our only shield in this time. We can't, and when the rioting start, and all that madness, as a man of the Lord, you can't be a part of that, right? Matter of fact, your wisdom should supposed to guard you from that madness, right? Knowing the things that are joined unto rioting and stuff like that, right? You should know what's gonna happen. That the force is gonna come out and they're gonna apply force. So we gotta remain circumspect. Continuing. So the night is far spent and the day is at hand. Let us cast off the works of darkness and let us put on that armor of light. Right? What is that armor of light? The spirit. The understanding of the scriptures, Yahweh Shai. Right? That's what we need to put on. We need to make this word our defense, against everything that's gonna be thrown at us. Right? Everything that's gonna be thrown at you, you gotta use the word as a defense. Right? When your family come up against you, you gotta remember that, hey, the scripture had said that your enemies are the people of your own household. Right? And a woman come against you, you gotta remember the scripture. The scripture tell you that she is thine enemy. Right? So you can't be surprised at these things and say, oh no, I thought you loved me. No. That time has passed. And the time for true love has not come as yet. I wanna liken this unto the Matrix. Right? If they're not one of us, then they're one of them. Right? They're agents. If they're not one of us, they're one of them. Right? Whether agents of the spiritual demon Satan are agents of the elite. But that's how you gotta look at it. Right? That's how you gotta look at it. They're not in the circle, then they're out the circle. That's how you gotta look at it. Right? The Lord is dealing with the elect. When I say the circle, I mean the elect of the Lord. Right now we're the hopeful elect. Right? But that's what I mean. I'm talking about the elect. If they're not in that circle of the elect, then they're out. And that's how you got to look at it. So so what I'm saying is that you can't be offended when they come up against you or they show their fangs. Right? That's why you got to look at it. Let me continue. It said, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, partying and getting yourself drunk. Not in chambering and wantonness, not trying to sleep with every thought you see on the roadside. Not in strife and not in envy. Hey, right now, you can't be out there envying anybody for what they have. Hey, turn your eye and move on. Because we know that the treasures on this earth, it said, the scripture said, lay out your treasure in earth, where it can be corrupted or stolen, right? But lay your treasures in heaven, right? Where it will be everlasting, and we will actually benefit it, because everything that we know in this life is about to perish. What they call riches here is nothing, and it's about to be destroyed. Right? It won't save you. It won't be able to help you in that time of trouble. Right? So don't envy for what them have. Right? We're pilgrims with food and raiment. Be content. You're just passing through. If you have a little more, then fine. Right? But we shouldn't be striving, to be fakes and his friends. Get rich and wealthy, because it won't profit you. Continuing, he said, but put on the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Now that is very peculiar right there. He said to fulfill the lust thereof, because the truth is, these things that I mentioned before, wantonness, rioting, chambering, even strife and envy, all of those things can be classified as the lust of the flesh. Because somebody do you something, you want to retaliate, right? You see that hot box passing by, you want to get some of that box, right? That's the lust of the flesh, right? Going to have a good time, that's the lust of the flesh, right? So we got to be careful of these things, right? You got to keep yourself, as I said, you have to keep yourself grounded in the Lord Yahushua, in the Spirit, in Yahweh Shemir Shai. Right? I know it's not going to be easy, right? Because being in this truth, it takes a little effort, right? And you got to put effort out there to remain in this truth, and you best believe that, right? Because on a day-to-day basis, things are going to happen that are going to try to stray your mind, right? There's going to be there's going to be that one box waltzing around, that box that belonged to someone else, waltzing around, flaunting that ass, trying to get you interested. And what's funny, you real being in this truth, and guys, men that have been in this truth for a little while, they can tell you, the girls that present themselves that are the most easiest to get are the ones that have been taken. And that has been proven. And I'm sure you brothers, watching this video, you can attest to that. You can know when she's taken, because she's easy. She's hot and easy. And those two don't go together. So you know she's taken, and you know that's a test. You know she's there just to pull you from this truth, or try to break you down. You know it. That's how it is. That's how it always has been. Hey, and you see, this is the reason why you gotta remain in the Spirit every single day. Right? You can't afford to let yourself slip. Right? You gotta ground yourself. Right? One of the things that can keep you, right, is discipline. Right? Having good habits. Doing the same good thing every day. That's one of the things that will really keep you. I'm telling you. Another thing that will keep you is the brotherhood. Forsake not the assembly, even so much more. But let me find that precept. Let me find that precept. Give me a second. I know it would give me some trouble, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Oh my word, what did that precept say? Assembling of yourself. Oh my word. Salakia Akim. I think I got it right here. Hebrews 10 verse 25. Okay, let me just highlight it so you can see where I'm reading it from. Alright, so this Hebrews 10 verse 25 said, let me go. Alright, let me go up some more. This chapter is good, but I must start at 23. Alright, so let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. Right, continuing, it said, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and good works. Stick to your brothers. It said, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. Beautiful scripture, right? So now is the time when you want to be around the brotherhood, right? The scripture said, iron sharpened iron, so a man the countenance of his friend, right? And you know, being around each other is a reminder daily of Yahweh Shai. Right, because we're around each other, you know, we naturally speak and think spiritually, right, and that help each other. We sharpen each other that way, right? Is scripture say is a beautiful thing, for brothers to come together. I think it's in Psalms. I don't remember the scripture. I don't remember the scripture. Come together in harmony, something to that effect. For brothers to come together in harmony. I think it's in Psalms. Right, I don't think I'll get that one. Right, but now's the time when you want to stick around. Right, if you have one brother, you know that you can talk to you know to help you to feel to remain steady or to help sharpen yourself. Then hey, talk to that brother. Right, you got some shit on your mind. You know that you might want to release or stress you out. That is stressing you out rather. Right, find a brother you can talk to. Right, this is a counsel go before every action. So before you do things, you know, reason a brother upon it to get spiritual advice, right? And these are good habits that keep you in the spirit daily. All right, and we need that, right? We need that. The scripture said The scripture said, as and so much more, so much the more as you see the day approaching. What day? Day of the Lord. Right? So you want to stick around, brothers. You want to remain in the spirit. You want to help to sharpen each other. Right? That's the spirit that you should be in right now. Not trying to, get out there and in Jamaica we say we don't want a new friend. Right? But that's not true. Because men naturally, instinctually, make friends all the time. It's like dogs walking around, spelling each other and becoming friends. That's what it is. But it's just in our nature, right? But you gotta be careful because you have men out there now, trying to spy out our liberty, trying to accuse us or trying to set us up, like I was watching a video by the apostle this morning, right? And he said something peculiar in the video. I don't see what the purpose is of you coming in the camp to try to spy us out, because whatever you hear we speak in these videos is the same thing we speak in the camp. We speak nothing different. Right? We speak the same thing right through. All we talk about is the prophecies in the scriptures. And we bring out facts of geopolitical events, events concerning climate information. That's what we bring out. There's nothing else. Everything that we speak, everything that we prophesy is the same thing that we speak when we're together anywhere else, right? If you go to our brother's workplace, he's not going to be doing something else. He's not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to take that man's woman." No, we're not going to say that. We're going to say, "Hey, leave that man's woman alone." We speak the same thing regardless of where we are. Yeah, I just found it funny. But back to the point, we got to remain, we got to try our best to find good habits, to keep us in the spirit. All right, I think I can end it there. I hope you brothers were edified and you got something from the lesson. Until the next one, shalom.